Maybe I am just like bald men.
So you're just a raging racist, kind of.
Narcellis will kind of just stare dumbfoundedly at Tove. Like, you see his brows lift up, and he just says, "What? You told me yesterday that you were going to change."
And even Ari looks a mixture of, like, shocked and disbelieving, as all he can really do is kind of stare at Tove with, like, these wide, bright green eyes. After a moment, he'll finally say, Tove, you cannot be serious right now.
No, I think I am serious. I mean, look around at us, and I'll sort of like lift the one good arm, and just sort of sweep it wide at the expanse of just the carnage and the horror that surround us. I mean, if this isn't a sign from Sophis, I don't know what is. I mean,
Narcellis is going to take a step toward Tove, and he's going to say, "Now this doesn't sound like your good human mercy, Tove."
Ever since we have been here in the Underdark, we have been surrounded by death and carnage and violence everywhere we step. I mean, do you honestly expect me to believe that the Drow had no part in starting the Dark Wars? Do you honestly expect me to believe that if push came to shove, you wouldn't stab us all in the back, just like every single one of your brothers and sisters have?
His eyes just get huge, and like his mouth physically drops open, and you just hear like just this sudden intake of breath, and he's like, you were the one who days ago said that I was more human than you thought. That
I think I must have been mistaken. Or maybe I was just trying to see some good in you that obviously isn't there.
Tove, how can you say that? Narcellis has not done anything to you. In fact, ever since Eastoft, when I first met all of you, he's done nothing but tried to be kind and friendly to you and everyone else in this group. I don't understand where this is coming from.
And how can you say that when he walked to the general, to his enemy, and pleaded for us to get pardon of crimes that we didn't commit, and then to get us down here when no one else up there is going to help us, and to just get us to somewhere where we can exist peacefully and try and figure out what the actual hell is happening?
Maybe she's charmed. I know what that's like.
I'm not charmed,
I
Taffy.
don't think she's charmed. How can you look at all this death and carnage and feel nothing? These were people with lives, and while you may not agree with it, they didn't deserve this. Does your God not teach you mercy? Does your God not teach you that you have empathy?
See, I knew this was going to happen. I knew you guys were going to side with them. And Tove sort of like takes a step back as she's just sort of feeling like suddenly she's very alienated from this space, and isn't necessarily finding I don't know, purchase that she wanted.
Hmm.
None of you understand. None of you get it. I mean, Arga, you're not from Leyrid. Taffy, you're not from Leyrid. Yulia, Yubari, you aren't from here. You don't understand what happened during the Dark Wars. You don't understand what it cost us.
You don't understand what it cost us.
Right, because you go around killing your own people. So suddenly that's just you're the only people who can do that, right? Suddenly it makes you the victim in this situation, Narcellus. It makes all of you the victim. We're the big
No,
bad.
I'm not a
Leyrid.
fucking victim, Tove. Also, real quick, out of character, Anna, check Discord.
Oh yes, I'm
But,
checking.
he's going to step toward her again, a little closer this time, kind of semi getting in her face, and he says, "These people that you claim are just, I don't know, that you're above somehow, that you think have started everything, that you think are responsible for everything that has happened to you and your precious little religious order. Do you think all of them deserve it? Do you think all of us deserve death? Do you?" And he's getting like physically like angry, and you can see his body starting to shake as he gets just a little bit closer. And he's gonna say, I've seen people die. And yes, it is a normal part of our culture. All of us die, so we might as well make it flashy, right? But then you just, what, you think I deserve to die? You think Zres deserved to die? Is that what you're saying?
He did deserve to die, and I think you deserve to die too.
Okay, can I come in here? Can I just come in here real quick?
Yeah.
Narcellus is gonna cast Witch Bolt at 4th level.
Shit! Okay, please link it in the chat for me. Oh my
Will
fucking
do.
god.
Oh, this is escalating quickly.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Oh.
my god.
Just to clarify, who did Tove just say should have died?
Zres.
Zeros. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is your
Narcellus'
brother. Yeah.
His dead brother. Oh boy, okay. So Narcellus is, you feel your anima like begin to gather around you, and the air, for everyone else in the party, you can kind of almost very physically feel the sudden like electricity in the air as Narcellus lifts up a hand and you see lightning crackle out of his fingertips. And so Tove, you will take 31 lightning damage.
Oh jeez.
Oh my god.
Because I know a 23 hit, so
Oh, a 23 definitely hits.
yeah.
R.I.P. Tove, you will be missed.
Will she?
Well, shit.
Well,
She flipped so fast. It's like, come on, this guy's just
Yeah.
it's just something's controlling her.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Her kid's in shock.
So I guess I'll ask Tove, what do you do before I allow the rest of the party to react to that?
Oh, I think God, because that just slices her.
You just got fucking electrocuted.
Yeah, it's like you could like smell like the ends of her hair, like that like burnt hair smell. Like
Oh.
she's
Um,
like there's a
this-
couple of spots on like her like cloak that are like clearly singed.
So if this is a concentration spell, isn't like Narcellus actively just like continuously lightning you?
Yeah. Yeah, it does
Yep.
like stay on her. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
until he's
she-
like distracted. Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
immediately
she's
you just like a pile of ash after like 2 hits.
No.
Oh no, she's trying to like I'm like trying to speak, but like obviously words are not comprehending.
Yeah, Nyalkish like kind of takes a step towards Tove, like her eyes wide, and she'll look back over at Narcellus as she says, What are you doing?
And God, probably not to any of you guys, but I guess probably to Resh, like, the way that he is casting is not with a look of malice or malevolence. His eyes are huge. His shoulders are seized up, and both of his hands are just shaking as the spell comes out of him. But he does not respond.
Taffy will kind of cry out from the back, like, Narcellus, please. I think she got the point. Please stop. Don't.
Yvar's just watching it happen. After the heinous things Toph has said, Yvar's like, yeah, okay. This is karma.
Don't be the thing that she says you are.
That gets him.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
And his fingers curl inward suddenly, and he sort of jerks back. But he doesn't say anything, and he's not moving. He's just still shaking.
Then has he stopped the spell?
Yes, he has stopped.
Okay.
He's no longer concentrating.
Okay, I think at that point Tove just kind of like collapses, sort of into a heap on the ground. Like her arms are kind of like reaching for like purchase to like pull herself up, but obviously it's taking a little bit more effort with having a broken arm.
Taffy kind of shuffles in the back. Like, Tove, what in the Pharaoh's gaze were you? What are you? Okay, listen, I get it. We don't understand, and we never could. We haven't lived your life. We haven't been what you are, but we're better than we were yesterday. We're better than the people, the atrocities we've committed. We're supposed to be better, than we were.
Tova's like sort of slowly pulling herself to her feet, like taking I think more steps away from the party, and you can sort of see in her eyes like sort of this look of it's almost hatred, but there's something else beneath it, like something deeply sad and deeply fearful. And she just sort of shakes her head, and she says, Taffy, you don't understand. They're never going to change. There's always going to be bloodshed. There's always going to be death, as long as the Drow are allowed to exist.
But you can change.
I don't think they can.
And it's at this moment, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Taffy's just gonna open his mouth, but he doesn't quite get the words out in time.
I'll say, Ari kind of takes a step towards Tove, but he stops himself at that point. And his look of shock has kind of changed into something more like drawn back in on himself. Almost like he's trying to kind of keep his emotions in check. But Tove, as he looks at you, you can kind of see in his eyes like there's like pain there, like emotional pain. And he looks at you and he'll say, Tove, I understand you went through something awful. I get it. However, I don't know how much room you have to talk, because I went to Darkwood, to Rulovin, with my father during that second war, and even I have been able to not try to label every drow evil, even when we went. He shakes his head. I can't understand your logic, your way of thinking here.
You're the one person who should know how I feel, who should understand the logic. You're the one person who should be able to see that I'm right, that your father is right in what he did.
Oh.
He's not.
Oh boy.
Toph, shut up.
Yeah, at this point, Arca is going to kind of step between Narcellus and Tove, and he's going to, like, just very briefly put a gentle hand on Narcellus's, like, arm as kind of, like, a show of, like, brief show of, like, comfort and support. And then he's going to be facing Tove from there, and he's pissed. He's pissed. Like, his beak is, like, grinding together. His feathers are on end, and he says, Tove, you fucking horrible bitch. The drow are here to stay. So, you know what? Deal with the bloodshed. Find a way to deal with it. War and bloodshed are a way of life.
Narcellus will speak up and he'll say, she can't, Arca. She's a stupid, miserable, fucking human.
What? I'm just telling you all the truth that nobody else has wanted to say because they're too much of cowards to say it.
What
Ooh,
truth,
you need to
Toph? What
shut
truth
the
are you
fuck up
saying?
right now, Tove. You need to shut the fuck up.
I'm telling you the truth that the general hid from you. You want that, right, Marcellus? You want the truth? What was it that you asked me that one time? What's the best thing about being a human, Tove? It's not having to wake up every single day as a half.
I'm going to kill you.
Tove, I'm going to grant you a courtesy that you don't deserve. Start running now.
Those words.
Annie, you need to check Discord real quick.
Oh no.
Toph needs to run away.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Taffy's just holding on to
Yeah,
Russ scale.
So just to kind of recap the few other NPCs we have here at the moment. So Nealgish at this point she's silent. She has like her hands over her mouth, kind of looking between everyone as they're speaking, looking about ready to start crying. Resh has been silent the entire time. He's been unmoving, standing behind Narcellus almost like the sort of shadow with a glare fixed upon Tove. And as for Inspector Ruscale, he's leaning very heavily against you, Taffy. He's all right. He's not doing great, but he's very confused. He does not understand what's going on right now, where this all came from. He's just like probably mutters under his breath, like, God God, y'all are crazy.
You're crazy. Yeah, Taffy doesn't want to put him down because then he
That's
might have to
true,
do
Roskill.
something, and he doesn't really want to do it. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
get like he doesn't know how to get involved.
Yeah, Roskill does not want to get involved right now in this drama. Yeah.
And I think at this point, Tove is just going to take one last look over the party. And she's going to leave. She's going to run the fuck out of there.
Oh, thank you. Oh god.
Fucking coward.
Ari just will silently stand there and just watch as she runs away.
Oh. Guys, look up.
Oh no.
And
Oh no.
as you all sort of hesitantly raise your glances up to the ceiling far above you, when you first arrived in Mithranve, just outside the very heart of this ginormous city, one thing you had noticed is that the entire city was surrounded by a very faint barrier. One that was hard to see, but was still noticeable, and even when inside of it, you could always see kind of that faint glimmering gleam of the anima that helped protect this part of the city. And as you look up now, as Narcellus urges you all to do so, you'll see now, far above you, the barrier is broken. There's a huge hole in it from what you can see. From all the shimmering, you can still see it, but it's very erratic and crackling. And above the amphitheater itself, you see there's this jagged hole in it now that leads up into the cavern ceiling far above. And looking up there, though most of it is pitch black, thanks to what glowing moss grows naturally here in the Underdark, and all the fungi in that, you can see that there's a lot of stuff moving up on the cavern ceiling. Clearly very shaken and disturbed by this very sudden cave.
Is that
Ooh.
the barrier?
That's not supposed to happen.
Is that? And Yuli will kind of look to Narcellus just to tear her gaze away from it. It's like, this was no accident, was it? That, and she kind of points up when she says that can't happen naturally, can it?
That barrier's been here for centuries. It's not supposed to. It can't break. And he'll turn and just sort of. He's attempting to act as normally as he can, but you can see like his face is not working correctly. Like. He doesn't really have a real expression, and he just says, Rush, we should... you should report this to Matron Hilarion. I don't have rank, but you do.
And Rush, having been looking up at the broken barrier, there's a very clear look of concern upon his face. And as he looks back down to you, Narcellus, he'll give a small nod as he says, yes, I should. I'll see what Hilarion says is as far as I know, House Wizard Balor is the only one who knows of how to repair it.
And Nichelle just kind of groans for a minute as he's looking around. We're not getting our stuff back, are we?
I would enjoy having my stuff back. I kind of miss my faulty daggers of returning.
I'm pretty sure that warehouse was located somewhere in this theater, Ivari. I don't
Oh, god
think...
damn it.
Oh.
What?
And hearing that, because Yulia's lyre was with that storage area, as she hears that, you just kind of see the start of tears in her eyes, but she can't really say anything because she doesn't know how to say the words.
So, he leads you back to the Durrett Manor. With all of you in your current state, being covered in dust, blood, and God knows what else. You're quite an odd sight to the guards that are stationed at the entryway, and as they kind of catch sight of you, Resh will approach them and exchange a few brief words as they'll nod in understanding and go running off into the manor proper. And he will motion for you all to follow him as he'll lead you inside. And you come into the main foyer, and already as soon as you enter, there are a few clerics standing to the side with the guards he had sent away earlier, waiting to help heal you all of your injuries. So, yeah, thankfully, they use their healing magics to help sort out any injuries the rest of you still have at this point.
I believe we may have seen someone related and possibly responsible for what happened at the theater.
Oh, who is that?
When we emerged from the rubble, we saw who resembled Saurus the Entertainer, looking quite pleased with what had happened.
She appears very thoughtful at that, as you see there's kind of this, if anyone happens to look at her, there's this sick, almost twisted smile that suddenly comes across her face. Well, I'll be sure to inform my house to keep a lookout for this Thalriz. But if you are so keen, Resh, you may as well go see if Balor can scrape together what memories are left in that dusty head of his to help. As from what I'm aware, no one will likely be allowed to leave the city until it is fixed.
Ooh. Fun.
Resh will nod his head as he'll kind of glance back towards the rest of the party. As long as everyone else is willing to help.
Of course.
Not that anyone else has a choice unless you'd like to live in Mithranve for the rest of your lives. As he gets to the door, he just uses the back of his hand, just pounds on the wood, and just opens it and steps inside to accept whatever fate awaits him.
And Nershellus will walk into the room with Resh shortly behind him, And as the rest of you come in behind them, you'll immediately hear Balor. Norshellus, it's so good to see you again. Weren't you just here?
Oh, he remembers.
No?
You remembered it?
Yes, we were just about to start on
Your prestidigitation lesson.
we were just about to start. Where were we? And you'll see the wizened old wizard kind of scratching at the side of his head as he's trying to think, and he'll then kind of notice the rest of you and say, "Oh, you brought your friends again, I see."
He remembers.
Interesting. It must be selective memory.
That's selective.
Yeah, we were actually here to talk to you about the barrier.
Barrier? What did you have questions about it? I mean, I would gladly go into my thesis and all the research I had to do to construct
It's
the
broken.
Caranio barrier. What?
It's broken.
And you'll see, like, he stops and just kind of stands there as he blinks at Norshellus. And then he'll suddenly laugh. That's funny. Norshellus, the barrier can't break. It's made of...
broken. Go look out the window and look up.
All right, and he'll march himself over to the window, look out. There's just a very long pause. Then he'll turn back to all of you, and he'll say, specifically, he'll look at Arca, and then he will say, "Did you fly into it?"
Wow.
You know, he actually did. We have Oprah. He's not gonna fucking remember.
Well, if that's the case, then I think you should be the one who helps me fix it. As you see, he goes over to the large desk in the room and starts shuffling around through all the drawers.
You just hear yourself say, "It's not me for once. It's not me for once."
It's not me for once.
What does poor Arca have to say?
He's staring at Yavari with this look of betrayal.
Get in 5 minutes, okay?
Wow, would you look at the time? I have to actually go back downstairs.
Now, Ark, are you really going to pretend you didn't throw that human through the barrier?
Come on now.
Listen, if I can't do it in real life, I can at least imagine it.
You know what? Fair. Like a long sigh, Arca just goes and follows after this.
Eventually he stops and says, here we go. All right, let me write this on a new paper. He'll kind of rummage around again, finds a sheet of paper that has what looks to be a list of materials written on it that he just scribbles out quickly with a quill and then begins writing new things on there. He'll say, all right, so for the size of the hole in the barrier, I'm going to need probably about 5 scoopfuls of goo from a gelatinous cube.
Oh no!
I'm going to need 3 different amleths. Usually the common ones down here are purple, pink, yellow. I need 3 different ones of different colors. I will need an uncharged amleth. And I will also need fibers from Corruptora leather.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, there are very giant bats that usually live in some of the larger caves in the lower dark. As he'll then hand this paper over to you, Arca, as he's written down all of the materials he needs. Yes, a chiropter is a large bat. Usually stand almost 20 feet tall, if I remember right.
Excuse me?
It's a large bat that stands 20 feet tall. Do you under...
Valor, he speaks common.
Does he? Are you sure?
Are you sure?
He is a bird.
He's my pet.
Okay. So Latar's not dead.
Yes.
Come again?
He was.
Huh?
I know this is like bullshit coming from me, but that's not possible.
And why do you say that?
Because Fulgen murdered him. We saw it. I mean, we didn't see the real thing. We saw the theatrical version. It was beautiful, by the way. But like, he shot him 3 times in the back. I watched the actor die.
And Resh, kind of stands there for a moment before he'll just say, it's... So, from what I've come to understand of what occurred, mostly from Hilarion, after his death, she took him to the Kilana house. I'm sure you know of them.
And all of a sudden, he'll just like turn and just start slapping Yavari on the arm with both of his hands. No, Yavari.
Yes.
Kawana was the name of the Drider lady. The Drider lady had that name. Something Kawana. Something House Kawana. I forgot her name. Yavari.
Wait, the big spider lady?
Yes, the big spider lady.
That one. I can't remember. What is her name?
Slap.
I have like
Slap.
for one time. I don't fucking notes for that session.
I'll
Yubari's like
No.
kind of like hitting her forehead to remember.
Just like turns and whirls at Resh like, I have a message for that guy. You have to tell me where he is. I have to tell him the spider lady said I don't remember what she wanted me to say. But I gotta tell him something.
She says hello.
I think.
Go ahead, Arca.
Okay. What's her name? Anor or something like that?
Anna Kalana, yes, it rhymed.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think she said she sends her love.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, right?
As long as we don't have to go back and talk to the giant spider
I
lady.
thought you said pina colada, and I was like, pina colada? Makes sense.
But
Okay.
I mean, is this guy gonna know where the Tirakara is?
He might. I can get you all down there. Just try to keep it to yourselves. But Resh will lead you all without issue, down one hallway, taking a turn here, another turn there, managing to avoid the guards for the most part. And again, even when encountering one, he's quick to dismiss them away. And as you all come to another door at the end of a hallway, one that appears to be made of metal or stone, you see there's a rather large minotaur blocking the way. He has like grayish brown fur covering most of his body, and wears very drow-like armor over himself as he holds a spear in one hand that he holds at his side. And from what you can see as you all approach, his eyes are wide open, but blank. And even as you approach, he tilts his head, and the way he looks is he's not really looking at any of you. And he'll say, who goes there?
Oh man, is this guy okay?
Rush.
I mean, I don't think so, but like, you can pretend he is, right?
Sure.
Rush will kind of lean down towards you, Narcellis, and he'll quietly say, he's blind.
Oh. Okay, I see. Do we have to kill him?
Rush sighs, and he'll just kind of take a step forward. Assuming his very rigid, usual posture, even if this Minotaur can't see him. And he'll say, I am here to see Solitar. Who are you to ask for him? And you see he stops and thinks about it for a long moment. And he'll say, Rush Nokovir, House Master Assassin for House Duret. He'll look back at Narcellis and just quietly shake his head.
He did open his mouth and was looking at him like, and he closes his mouth.
The Minotaur.
You could see the what in the hell on his face, but he's not saying anything.
Minotaur kind of gives a snort. He'll say, very well, Master Resh, but who are all these others I smell with you?
Narcellis will open his mouth suddenly and go, I'm gonna use vocal mimicry. Well, what do you mean? It's Master Balor. I'm here with Resh. Talk to Solitar. These are my new assistants. I'm afraid it's quite a serious matter. I could regale you with all the details if you'd like to hear them. When it all started...
Master Balor, it's fine, please. Please approach. And I appreciate it, but you say it is of utmost importance. And you can tell this Minotaur does not want to sit here and listen to one of Balor's lectures.
Ivari has to put a hand over her mouth to stop herself from laughing so hard.
Oh, very well, very well. I'll come and talk to you later about it.
Very well, Master Balor. The Minotaur will step aside and open the door for you all, so you may pass down into another corridor. And you can see, even through the darkness, and thanks to the dim light being shed by the coin Arca holds in his talons, you see there's a male drow sitting against the bars of his cell. The cell, which appears to have been decorated like the inside of a very lavish bedroom, but, with bars and what appear to be polymorph circles around the exterior. He appears bored, but as soon as the light begins to fill the room from the token Arca carries, he rushes up onto his feet and turns towards you all and seems to kind of light up with excitement. He turns and you look at him. He looks exactly like Hilarion. To the point where you might have to kind of double take to make sure it's not her sitting there behind the cell bars.
Oh.
And as he sees you all, the voice that comes out of him seems very void of emotion, as he'll simply say, "Ooh, Resham, you've brought me so many new friends."
Narcellus is just gonna immediately share a look with Yavari, like, you're not dead.
And you'll see Solitar looks at you, Narcellus, and after a brief pause, he kind of cracks a smile at you, as he says, "Oh, I know many wish I was, but no, here I am."
Okay. Wait, you're so, you are so, okay, fuck, and just, like, reaches up and rubs at his face. He's like, I was supposed to deliver a message to you.
For me?
Yes, from, oh my god, from Anna Kalana.
And as soon as you say that name, he leans forward and, like, grabs at his cell bars and narrows his eyes suddenly in suspicion. He'll say, she still remembers me after all these years.
Yeah, we met her. She's terrifying.
Oh, I know she is the most terrifying beauty I've ever known in my entire life.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. She is horrifying. Yes.
You know, I once slaughtered nearly 200 goblins to spell out my devotion to her in the streets just beyond the Kalana estate.
Man, get you a man who's just slaughtered 200
Oh,
setting the bar so high, guys.
I know.
That's dedication.
I know, and she never noticed.
She said, she wanted me to give you, finally, her love.
Her what?
I know. I know. She loves you. Finally. Maybe
That's
the good ones did it.
Solitar just kind of stands there, staring at you. And then very suddenly will... God.
Well, now it's not fun anymore.
He'll
Did you tell him that she's
Shut up! You just reach over and grab her and just like shake her by her collar.
He leans forward, very interested, like his face pressing against the bars. She's what?
She is so excited to see you again. She is so excited to see you again.
Completely in
Shut
love
up,
with
Yavari.
you.
I think you know what? I misspoke. I was thinking of another person. So sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
She's gonna lean over to Nershos and go, what?
Shut up. Just, I'll tell you later, okay? You don't tell somebody that someone that they like is that, okay? You don't do that. And he'll turn towards Solitar and he's like, she actually, yeah, she sent me here, barely escaping with my life from how horrifying she is.
she is certainly beautifully horrifying, is she not?
So, incomparable.
Okay.
Really, after all this time, I can't believe she still remembers.
So we actually were coming down here to ask you a question.
Really, Rash, after years away, you only come back because you need something. You know, I need something in return. In fact, maybe we can trade.
Would it be like, I don't know, a revivify spell, a druid?
Oh, revivify won't work on me now. Now, all I want is to be let out. Just let me out.
I don't think we can do that.
Mari wants to say that she looks so content behind the bars, but she doesn't say that.
Does he like try anything? Is he trying to use charm or?
Hold on, I gotta look at his stats. So,
I remember they're like big.
Well, to be
big
fair,
stats.
I didn't know we were going to be meeting my one-shot character. That we were supposed to play. I broke him, and I regret it now. I think he can only, because, well, no, he got a stat increase. I think he can only roll a 19 on any charisma, so that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not
I just
good.
wanted to break something, but no, Starion's using it against me.
You just like that's still well
Oh
said. You got
no,
real
the
good will, right?
consequences of my own actions.
Oh no.
Ah.
The consequences of my own actions.
for right now, no, he's just asking you to let him out. That's what he wants in return.
Well, let's see. I'm just gonna save because, like, I personally feel for you, Solitar. I feel for you, but I already know what's gonna happen. Is you're gonna hear, that's not possible, Solitar, from my brother. He's my brother.
Oh, I thought for sure you were one of his kids.
You do look very alike.
Fresh size.
The temperament is vastly different, though.
It's uncanny how similar they look.
Anyway, tell you what. How about I tell you what it is we want to know, and then you can make a demand. Because otherwise, it's vastly unbalanced.
Fine. What is your question?
We'll see, and he'll reach over and he'll grab Yulia by her shirt and just sort of drag her over, and he'll say,
Oh
"You
no.
see, I hear that you're a bard, and we have a very special bard right here. And it just so happens that we're looking for Terra Chiroptera."
Nailed it.
Do you mean a Chiroptera?
Yes.
Oh, those things are probably extinct by now. But I'd really like to be let out first. And Nershellis, I need you to make a wisdom save for me.
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die.
Can I actually use something on Nishalis?
What would
It's
you
not.
like?
It's not gonna work, Julia.
Just charm fight.
It's not gonna work.
Well, no. What do you want to use?
Intellect Fortress.
Oh, what is
What is
that? If you want to link it for me.
Oh,
It,
that's such a good spell.
eh, Advantage in
Maybe it
saving
will.
throws. In
Okay.
wisdom, intelligence, and charisma.
Yeah,
on,
then
20.
roll with advantage.
Come on, 20.
And
Should get a 1.
I'm dead.
Oh.
oh,
Well,
I'm sorry, I tried.
you sure tried.
I still thought that counts, you know?
Yeah.
As he says this yet again, saying, "Oh, just let me out, and I'll help you find this chiroptera, whatever." As he says this, Nershellis, you kind of feel like, yeah, you know what? Maybe letting him out isn't that bad of an idea. Like, look at this guy. He's been caged up in here for 300 some years, and he's nice. You should let him out. You should do it.
And Nershellis sort of just slowly reaches out toward the bars where the lock is, like the magic locking mechanism.
What's he doing?
What is
What's he doing? Stop it.
I'm just letting. He makes a good argument.
Can I reach out
why?
and grab his arm and pull it back?
Don't let the hidden dead out. Don't let it get closer to us.
What? I don't see a problem with him. How long have you been down?
Oh, only since the first Dark War, when I got shot in the back by someone I thought was my friend.
Oh, bestie, say less.
No,
He's like,
Nershellis.
do you know I got stabbed in the back by Falvin Corinne?
He shot me in the back too.
I
Man,
understand.
that guy.
You.
You know what? How about this? Since you both have experience with this god awful person, maybe in exchange for information, maybe you can just swap stories about your times together with him.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
mean- Go ahead.
It would be so nice to have someone else to talk to once you let me out.
That is a little high of a price for what we're trying to exchange with.
It's not.
Yulia,
Nershellis.
I would like to ask a question.
Oh boy.
Why is he down here?
That's an excellent question. And she'll look at Resh. Why is he down here?
Resh will look from you guys to Solitar. Raises an eyebrow. Solitar just gives a very dramatic sigh. I'm down here because after my sister decided to take my corpse over to the Kalana estate, I was sucked back into my body. Do you know what it's like once you've died and you've become the little spider minion that you are going to be for the rest of eternity, serving our very lovely dark mother? You are suddenly ripped out of that and put back in your body, and then sometimes that I feel like I'm still a spider out there in the world, just running into a wall constantly.
Yeah, I can't say I know that feeling.
I
know
do.
that feeling.
It's like a very
You know that feeling?
Spider buddies.
Yes, it's like my spider body still exists, and yet my mind is here. But it's like I'm still that spider sometimes. But regardless, that is why I'm here.
So you're not down here because you tried to eat people, or
I might have nibbled on occasion. I mean, it is what I have to live off of now, thanks to my wonderful and beautiful sister.
Oh,
But no,
I feel so bad for this man. I understand him.
Exactly. She keeps me down here, and only really ever talks to me when she needs something. Oh, Solitar, please, I need you to charm this person for me. Oh, Solitar, I need you to come and convince this house to work for me. Oh, Solitar, do this. Oh, Solitar, do that.
Okay.
Jafari leans closer as he coughs just to see if dust comes out of his lungs.
a little dust does come out, yes.
Oh gosh.
Guys,
Siblings.
I told you.
Siblings are terrible, aren't they?
What? Actually, do you only survive off of eating people, or do you think you could go on a diet?
Go on a diet.
I've tried eating real food, but then it just sits there in my stomach. I mean, I really don't have to eat. It's just the urge to bite something just becomes too much sometimes.
At this
I
point,
I understand that too.
Taffy has left behind Arca and is now pressed the hell up against the back wall right next to the door. Ready to just
Taffy.
go.
Nershella just turns and looks at Taffy. He's like, Taffy, we can't leave him here.
I'm not going anywhere yet. I'm just observing from the back over here, away from, don't want to get in anyone's way.
Fresh,
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you a really messed up question. But actually, Solitar,
Yes.
can you go to the back of your cell and plug your ears for 5 minutes? I understand that's a strange request, but I need to ask them a question.
He does kind of look at you a little strangely and then just shrugs and moves away from his cell, or from the cell bars, excuse me, and will go back to the back corner, sits down on the very nice plush bed that's put in here, and just covers his ears. And you just hear a very quiet la 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 la.
This man is
I don't think we should take this man. I really don't.
We do not let him out whatsoever.
Wait,
No, we should.
Wait, guys. Remember, people also hate Drow. Maybe people hate undead because they're misunderstood. I have an idea.
Crazy.
You don't have any room to talk. So listen.
Oh dear.
Listen, I have an idea, but it's kind of
Uh-oh.
Somewhere in
Are
this
you-
house. Somewhere in this house, there has to be a bag of holding.
Oh my god.
But
No.
if you put dead things in it,
No.
it won't die.
No.
Why,
Hmm.
Yulia?
That sounds like a bad idea. Do we really want to make enemies of the house that is holding him down here at this
We're
very
gonna be-
moment?
Well, they're not gonna know he's gone. I mean, what if
They
we put,
will eventually, and they will know we are down here. Narcellis.
No, hey, and he'll just look at you and he's like, "What kind of a guild are we gonna be if we find someone suffering under a giant house, losing his mind, being oppressed in a Lothite way, in a non-Lothite society, if I might add, and we do nothing about it?" And he'll turn towards Resh and he'll say, "That doesn't sound very Veyronian of you."
Resh just kind of, grimaces a little at Narcellis as he'll just quietly say, I understand, but there is a good point in not wanting to upset Hilarion while we are still here.
Yeah, but we have to go find this bat thing. He knows where the bat thing is.
What if we agree to let him out afterward so we can go and find this thing first?
Fine, but only if everyone actually agrees to it. I'm kind of tired of being promised things and then they don't come to fruition.
You tell us where to find the Chirotira, and you agree not to kill my wood elf friend, or any of us. And when we get back, we will let you out.
And it's at that moment he kind of looks over the whole group in detail, as you seem to have mostly been focused on just a few of you, and he finally now notices Ari, who'd been kind of standing a little further in the back of the group, behind a few other people, and he'll say, "Oh, you even brought him with you." You just hear Ari sigh quietly.
This poor guy.
Brought who with us?
Faldvin.
Oh, no, that's not fault. All wood elves look the same. This is Runarian.
What? Was this some brother I wasn't aware of? And
Go ahead.
Let's say Ari will speak up and just say, "Runarian Faldvaniel, he is my father. Yes, I look exactly like him."
Narcellus just kind of looks at Resh.
Resh looks back at Narcellus.
He looks at him.
And he looks at me. And I look at him.
And he looks at me.
And I look at him.
And I look at him.
If you don't come back, I'll make sure I take my little spider body and I hunt you down and bite you in your sleep.
That's
It's
it.
not as threatening as you think it is.
I've seen the spiders down here. It's kind of freaky, actually.
Well, actually, yeah, it's been 300 years. He's probably huge, just running into a wall somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm venomous.
Ooh,
Oh,
spider
okay.
venom. I'm so scared. Regardless, I will come back, okay? Actually, and he paused. Just for that, I'm tacking on something else that you have to do for me.
Oh god. You little shit.
Solitar raises an eyebrow.
You have to join my guild.
Ah.
What?
Hello.
Okay.
No.
Wait,
That's it?
just like that? Just okay?
I mean, the only thing I want to do when I get out of here is just kill my sister. So after that, I'm completely free. So, sure.
No. Okay, tack it. You're not going. You gotta wait a couple years, which you've waited a long time. You can wait a little bit more before killing. Before killing Matron Illyrian, okay?
But I've already waited so long.
Exactly. So what's like 2 years? And besides, my guild's on the surface, so I mean.
The night above, I've never been.
Well, you'll get to go.
Faldvin told all these stories about where he came from on wherever the elf island is, and I've always been curious to go so I can go find his family and kill them.
No.
Man, you gotta pick up some hobbies.
Solitar, we're going to the dark place again. So we're not going to kill Runarian. Okay.
You know, you're a very sad excuse for a drow.
I'm happy.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
I-
I think we should
Yabari?
actually leave with you.
Yabari, it's okay. I have heard so much of this bullshit today. Nothing can faze me.
I doubt that.
No, really. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Solitar,
Yes.
I'll make this very, very simple. I know Anna, and we will do this. I will come and let you out, and you will come with me. But if you do not tell me where this bat thing is, I will cast Fireball inside of your cage, and then I will go find Anna, and I will bring her here, and I will have her bring you back, and I will cast Fireball again, and we will do this ad nauseum until you tell me what I want to know. How's that for being fucking drow enough, bitch?
Yvari leaves it to Nurse and goes, well, she even say it? She even said it in castle?
I said I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine.
You know what? And she's gonna just give him like a small squeeze on the shoulder.
It's fine.
Okay. Breathe.
I'm fine.
And after a moment, you just hear Solitar like give this small sniff as he says, "You know, if I could cry or shed tears, I might just shed a tear for how beautiful that threat was." Well, I suppose Mithranve is probably one of the better choices to have made. I guess I'm more just surprised to hear someone was trying to help.
And as Arca is being like dragged over, he's just like, what do you want?
Like,
What?
I was just like, look, it's the temple lady, the lady from the temple.
From the temple.
Oh. And like as Arca like catches sight of her, he's like, oh, what's she doing here?
She knows my brother. They're on quotation air marks friendly terms.
Oh.
I don't like her.
I don't like her.
Arca like just sidling over, just like to watch their interaction.
And seeing that they now have an audience, I'll just sort of keep talking to Resh a little quieter and say, well, I don't know who could stand by and watch what's happening happen. I mean, didn't make any sense to me, but well, they needed to get out of there, and I wanted to be able to help where I could.
And you see, like one of his eyebrows raise at you. But he doesn't really seem to have anything else to say to that at the moment. As he'll just say, well, are you planning on staying in Mithron Bay?
Not yet. Some of the others went to speak with the matron mother in an attempt to gain asylum here, but I don't suppose I'll be rather welcome, not with everything transpiring on the surface.
Most likely not. He just kind of sighs quietly to himself and then seems to notice that Narshalis and Arca are kind of have returned and are just kind of watching the two. He'll just look at Narshalis quietly. Stares.
Marcellus is gonna stare right back, kind of leaning forward on his toes a little bit.
What?
Pretend we're not here.
Perfect.
What's going on? What's going on, Rich? What you doing?
What you doing, buddy? What you doing with your new girlfriend over there, huh?
Nothing is going on. We are merely having a conversation.
Well, what do you know? We really got to be going to find that big bat thing, and I don't think you can have conversation when you're looking for a bat.
It's just impossible. I don't know how you would do it.
I guess we could bring her along.
He'll just stare at this bird. You can see the steam coming out of his ears.
Yeah.
Perfect. Plan backfire.
I'm not sure that's a great idea.
Yeah. Not a great idea. She can't come. That's so sad. I'm so sad. I am crying on the inside.
Oh my god.
No, you're not.
I am. I'm weeping.
I'm weeping.
Arga like
You're just
turns
happy that your
to.
brother has a girlfriend.
Yes. Yes, Arca turns to the human lady from the church and he just asks her, so you want to come kill a giant bat?
Arca. You can't just invite people on a secret.
We do that all the time.
We do it all the time.
Arca, and he'll just grab.
That's how we got Ari.
It's like, Arca, she's human.
I don't know. She seems nice though.
Yeah.
Well,
So
hmm.
did Tove. And she works for the Order's temple. It's gonna be Tove all over again. Don't you see what's happening? It's Tove, but with brown hair.
And Aoife will pipe up at that, and she says, I actually don't work with the Order anymore.
So you say.
Of course I say it because it's true, but okay, I'm just gonna let you guys continue whatever's going on over there. Probably get back to my shopping. I mean, unless you do need help with a giant bat.
Sarah wouldn't like it.
I mean, how big are we talking?
20 feet.
I
Does it just fly around?
Well, we don't know.
Or does it land somewhere? Does it hang upside down?
I don't know.
I mean, that's what bats do, right?
I mean, that does make it a little bit difficult to tell if I could be of any use.
What is happening? Resh, you don't want your tiny, dainty, weak human friend coming with us.
Excuse me?
I
mean, that's a very nice compliment in some ways, but I can handle myself.
Oh, let's see. Oh, sorry. Good.
Oh, I was gonna say, Resh just kind of gives her an odd look as he'll ask him. I don't want to seem rude, Iva, but can you?
And her eyes will sort of narrow. I have been around for a little while. I do know I do know a thing or two about combat.
Marcellus just ribs Ark and says, "This lady just told a 700-year-old that she's been around for a little while."
Oh my
In human
God.
years, in human years.
You child.
Oh, I don't know. It's relative. I mean, I am 9.
Okay.
Oh,
Little baby.
little baby.
I can't believe
Resh just sighs and says, I mean, I suppose another pair of hands wouldn't hurt.
Resh!
What?
What? And he'll start speaking in Drow, not even remembering that he just gave Aoife a tongue. You have got to be joking. What do we need another human around? We just got rid of one. Why do we need another one?
And he'll respond to him in Drow, saying, I understand, I know, but I've known her for a while.
My God, you like her.
I do not.
You like her.
His eyes narrow.
No.
Eva's face is just sort of. She's the smile on her face and it is beaming.
He's so valid.
You like her.
Fresh doesn't say anything. He's just glaring you down at the moment.
What do I have to start expecting that there's gonna be like a plethora of little half drow running around with you?
Oh.
You?
It is not like that, Norshellus.
Whatever. Look, if she wants to come with us to find the giant bat thing and gets, sucked into a gelatinous cube and turned into goo, that's fine. Oh, don't tell me that thought bothers you.
I didn't say anything.
You made a different kind of grunt. You, instead of going, you went, Yeah, like that. That's your vaguely amused grunt. The other one was the, I'm kind of concerned grunt. See, I'm starting to pick up on it.
Eva
Not
sort of
quite.
Eva turns her head towards Orca and just sort of mouths. They do know I can understand what they're saying, right?
Oh, you can understand them. What are they saying?
What are they saying?
Probably not suited for light company. Something about gelatinous cube.
Oh yeah, we need to get some of those too.
Fine.
Look, TLX
invite-
translation. Oh, sorry.
He's like, fine, just invite your little human lady friend, and we'll go find the bat. Okay? Okay.
Fine. Fine. He'll turn back to Ifa, not even remembering either that she could understand them the whole time. So, well, I guess if you're interested, then you can come along with us for the time being.
And I'll smile and say, I do think it would be a bit of a fun adventure. Super top secret. Finding a giant bat.
Maybe it eats humans. And Marcellus will just kind of cross his arms and look very dejected.
Oh.
But, I mean, unless, I could always, Well, we could always meet up later, right? I don't want to invite myself into a situation where I'm not wanted.
We can. I can come find you later.
Why don't you just come with us? He already invited you.
Now I'm at a bit of a dilemma.
Do what?
Now I have a bit of a dilemma.
And what is that dilemma?
To go or not to go?
That is the question.
Lose it.
I'm gonna lose it.
Aoife will sort of straighten her her staff and look over Arca and then Resh and then Narcellis and say,
Oh, sorry.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Sorry.
You're good.
Yes, she absolutely sneezed in that moment. And we'll say, no wait. I think it best if I wait here. I mean, I do need to get the rest of these supplies back to my other companions, and you seem to be busy. So, Resh, find me when you're done. Yes, and we can talk more.
Very well.
No, come back.
And Eva will give a small wave as she makes her way back over to the stall that she was currently at to start haggling over mushrooms.
Haggling
Ah,
over
boy.
mushrooms.
Blessed.
Mm-hmm. Alright, yeah, so Aoife goes back to what she was doing as the three of you were... Aoife, sorry. I'll get it right one of these days. Yes, she kind of leaves the three of you now to your own devices.
Arca leans a little bit to Narcellis and just asks, "You good, kiddo?
What?
You good?"
I was good before.
Are you sure you're good?
I'm good. Why don't you go buy something?
Okay. You wanna come along?
No.
Wow.
Wow.
I'll be good over here.
I'll be good over here.
Alright, take it easy, kid. And he just pats him on the shoulder and wanders off.
Since Rush only needs to sleep like 3-4 hours, during this long rest, can Narcellis ask him to help him figure out how to use his whip?
Ooh.
Yeah. He can definitely do that. Once Narcellis, whether he wants to rest or not, then Resh will happily spend some of that free time helping Narcellis to at least know how to wield it. Because I know you and I kind of talked about this before, so when you do make your attack rolls with it for right now, it will be with disadvantage.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, then is everyone okay then with getting kind of a rest in for right now before you head out?
Oh yeah, Taffy's
Yes.
exhausted.
Yeah, that's valid. All right, so yeah, Resh will take you all back to his manor, where he'll show you his, multitude of guest bedrooms.
And they
Not
bring the one
multitude.
that Tove was in?
If only.
Only.
Yeah, there's enough. Yeah, there's enough at least that, some of you have to share rooms, but it's still very cozy and roomy for all of you to exist in for the night. And as you all or most of you, begin to settle down and get some sleep. Oh boy. Taffy.
Oh God, not again! No.
Poor Taffy.
I'm
Honestly,
just
I
gonna
feel
not
so
sleep
bad.
ever again.
Fine, Yulia can practice lullabies.
I can practice lullabies.
Listen, she's got to figure out how to play this lute. She admittedly, it's been a while since she played one. She's gonna learn.
Mhm. Yeah. So yes, as you drift off to sleep, Taffy,
Oh.
you find yourself eventually opening your eyes, and you're here in the same room where you once saw the giant violet snake towering above you. The room where you saw Pharaoh Shepsekare III lying dormant on the floor until he reached out and grasped you, preventing your flight from the snake. The room is empty now, or so it seems when you first take a turn around. The alabaster walls are cool to the touch as you run your hand along them, the floor echoing with only the sound of your steps. Give me like 2 seconds, and then we'll go. Then we'll go. Bayla's yelling at me because I gotta go to bed. But
You have to be up in 3 hours.
I know. Give me 2 minutes.
You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Start a timer.
Yeah, really. There's only okay, so the alabaster walls are cool to the touch as you run your hand along them, and the floor echoes with only the sound of your steps. There's only one way open, a door that seems impossibly tall and leads out into the water gardens, where the eyes of hungry crocopotami seem to be staring you down from a distance.
Oh no.
You and another man, that is, who you recognize from your former dream. The pharaoh this time is not in pain, nor incapacitated. He's standing with his back to you, his arms folded neatly behind his back with his fingers gently linked. Upon getting close to him, you see that he is a genasi, a man with a lean physique and purple skin, and his crown held in his hands. You can see his jet black hair sizzling and crackling with blue and violet energy flowing through the tips, bent out at weird angles that remind you somewhat of the way lightning passes through the sky. His sharp profile turns as you approach, regarding you with a tired expression, but one of recognition. I had ever wondered if you would allow me to meet with you.
Taffy, like, puts his paw on his chest, looks behind him to make sure that he's the one being addressed, turns back. Me?
Yes. Yes, you, Tabaxi.
First, it's such an honor. Pharaoh. I'm very, very, very honored to be in your presence. Very sorry to disturb whatever's happening here. As he's looking around, he doesn't really want to get in close because the crocopotami are sort of doing him a spook.
Yeah, they're thankfully just watching for right now, but Shepsekare will just kind of shake his head to you as he says, no, you are not bothering me at all. I have been attempting to commune with someone, though I don't know who. It's a miracle tonight that she has allowed me this moment of respite.
Oh, you mean, he gets really hushy. He's like, Neferu?
And he seems hesitant about that, to answer it, as he'll say, actually, hold on. I need to ask someone a question.
Okay.
But he seems a little hesitant to answer your question, as he will say, the serpent, it's a rare night indeed that I am allowed to contend with the nature of my own thoughts.
Oh man. Okay, so you're trying to communicate with someone through dreams? I guess, by the way, hi, I'm Taffy. I'm probably not the person you want to talk to. I'm just a lowly guild member from the Padlock Guild.
There doesn't seem to be kind of any recognition in his eyes at that, but he kind of slowly nods his head, like acknowledging your name and your small introduction to him. So he'll say, it is a pleasure, Taffy. I'm afraid I am not familiar with your guild, but I take it you come from Arquette?
Yes, I live in the guild house in Abydos.
He'll kind of hum slightly and nod, and then he'll say, well, I do not understand why you and I share this dream. I've yet to figure out the riddle I have been given. I only want to save my people.
A riddle? If I may be so bold to inquire, what kind of riddle? Maybe I can help. I mean, not that I am anyone special and can help, but I, at least I could try.
And as you offer this, Taffy, the Pharaoh kind of gives you a very odd look. And in that moment, as you see he might be about to respond, you hear the sound of what sounds like skin rubbing along stone. And as the both of you turn around, you see the head of that violet serpent curling around the corner, massive as ever, as it opens its jaws and hisses.
I immediately, Taffy immediately reaches, instinctively for his bow. I don't know if he has any weapons in Dreamland here.
You go to reach for your bow at the same moment that the serpent strikes out for you.
Oh no!
And you wake up.
Oh god! It's just
Oh god!
Cat noises.
That's where we're gonna end the session for tonight.
Oh my god!